Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this occasion, I am going to interview one of my best friend from uni, William Nanda. So he was studying commerce, so we were studying commerce together at Monash University. But what's interesting about him is after he graduates, he instead chose to work in the IT field instead of his expertise in financial and actuarial science. And what's interesting about him is how he was willing and wants to translate his skills and knowledge in commerce into IT areas, because pretty much the IT industry in Melbourne is much more accessible to international students compared to its financial industry. So without further ado, let's hear it. Ini ke? Oke. Oke lah ini.
Oke. Let's go. Udah liat gua kan?
Udah. Ini miring gak sih?
Miring, Pak. Kemarin lu liat dulu, pasti lu liat gua sekarang. Nah, nggak kurang itu miring.
Ini kabel. Lu perfeksionis juga ya lu, Will?
Yoi, coy. Perfeksionis banget gua.
Boleh.
Nah, tuh. Coba, lu liat record gua, oke nggak posisinya?
Oke.
Nah, oke?
Oke.
Let's go.
Oke, ready? Ya. Hi
Nggak,
everyone.
sabar. Lu tuh kalau video lu segini dulu. Itu tanda gua udah mulai. Lu gimana sih bikin itu tapi lu nggak tahu? Itu standar banget. Jadi standarnya tuh, misalnya lu record kayak gini, standar lu tuh cut tuh pas orang, nah, ngerti nggak? Jadi that's a sign. Oke, lu dari sini terus cut.
Oh iya boleh sih.
Oke.
Okay.
Ini second.
Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So my name is Owen, and today I'm joined with my special friend, William.
Hi everyone, my name is William.
So William is also, well, he's actually an actuarial grad from Monash, so he's actually 2 years below junior to me. But then he also worked in IT in Melbourne, and yeah, he also worked, I think 1 month after you graduate or something,
About 1 month.
or even before you graduate.
Well, I only had like one subject left to do. It was a different exam, but before the different exam, I was already working.
Right, so pretty much straight after uni, you got a job,
Yeah,
which is pretty rare because you're also an international student.
Very lucky, yeah. I'd say very lucky.
On a student visa still at the time.
Correct. Yes.
Oh, right. So tell me, how do you know, what's the company about and how do you know about this company?
Alright, so I'm working at Mydealcom.au. It's an e-commerce company.
Mydeals.
We're basically a marketplace online. It's similar to Amazon,
Right.
eBay, Catch, Kogan,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So my big brother worked in the company.
Right.
Yeah. So initially I applied to this company during the winter break when I was still on my last year, but then I got rejected at that time because there was no vacancy. But then I thought after I finish uni at 2016, I decided to apply again to try my luck, and nature calls, I got accepted.
Cool, that's very cool. So your brother was also working in the same company?
Correct. Yes.
In Melbourne. Wow,
Yes.
that's nice. Very cool. So it's a bit interesting because you are actually doing actuarial major.
Correct.
Yeah, but then you kind of work in more IT related field.
Correct.
How does that feel for you?
So basically, so I studied at Monash Clayton. I took actuarial studies.
Yeah, we both.
To be honest, when I took Actuary, I had different expectations to what I was actually studying. Because to be honest, I never had any interest in the insurance industry.
Okay.
I was more interested to the investment, banking, and stuff.
More like finance.
But then because I have already started taking the classes, might as well finish it. So that's why I finished it.
Oh, okay.
So, I started as an intern in my company, and I was working as a data entry. I was working in a data entry role, so it was pretty easy. So it was pretty much basic Excel, copying data using VBA macro,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So it was pretty easy because I actually took one modeling in finance unit
Right.
in
All about
Monash,
VBA.
and we use VBA scripts and also our Excel skills. So that helped.
Oh, that really helps.
So that actually helped. So I'd say that's the only subject that actually helped in my current job. Besides that, any other like IT skills or IT knowledge, I learned them independently.
Right. So you're pretty much learning on your job.
Correct. So I learn as I go.
Yeah. That's very cool. Yeah. If you say, like, in terms of your workloads during your undergrad years, how many percentage of that, workloads are actually relevant enough to your current job?
Yep. So as I said earlier, because now I'm working in the IT industry as compared to insurance industry, I'd say only about 20% maximum is being used in my day-to-day responsibilities, and that 20% is more relating to like problem-solving skills and like statistical skills. And Excel, because now because as a marketplace we also provide sales reporting for each seller that is selling at Mydeal, right? That is where my problem solving skills and my data analysis skills and any other skills are used.
Right. It is interesting because, first of all, as you guys know, it is very rare for international students on student visa to ever get any kinds of relevant jobs.
Yeah.
Well, skilled jobs, not in fast food restaurants or anything. Any skilled jobs in Melbourne. So my question to you would be like, how many companies did you apply when you first finished uni?
So actually, I'd say I was pretty lucky because you
just applied for this one.
I applied for like I'd say I can't remember exactly, but maybe just around like 3 companies.
3 companies, yeah.
Because like after you graduate, you wanna take like a few months break.
Yeah.
So I just applied
3 companies, fair enough.
3 companies just for fun, and actually got accepted. And out of those 3 companies, the company that I got into, which is Mydeal, was the company that I was rejected in. So that's pretty funny. Yeah.
Right.
I guess I'm lucky.
So did you get other offer from other companies as well?
Actually, after I graduated, I got an offer from Commonwealth Life Indonesia. As an intern.
Right.
But then
in Indonesia, you want to stay here for Melbourne?
I wanted to stay in Melbourne.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough.
I think Melbourne is quite fun, guys. So come to Melbourne.
Yeah, I mean Melbourne was voted the best city. Was #1 this year. It becomes #2, but it's still a pretty good deal. It's pretty good in terms of works. The only problems these days is it's full of international students like us. So job vacancies are very limited these days, I have to say. And since the economy is not booming as much as it used to be, it's actually caused a bit of an issue these days. But it's for those fortunate enough like us, with the right strategy, if you ever secure a job, life is pretty good.
Correct.
So what do you reckon about like working in Melbourne, like in terms of work-life balance?
Alright, so I'd say like, because I've got lots of colleagues from different parts of the world.
Yep.
And most of the people, or most of my colleagues, including myself,
Yeah.
I think Melbourne is such a great place to live a professional life. In other words, like basically working from 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It's good in a sense that the company culture, well, in general, the culture in Melbourne is very chill.
Yeah, it is.
So basically, you just work from 9 to 5, and after that, you just chill. And like, it's quite interesting in Australia because whatever issues occurred during the day will be forgotten in the next day.
Yeah, true.
So it's not like you don't take issues personally. That is what's good with Australia.
Yeah,
I think it's really professional and it's good. And yeah, compared to like Asian,
like Jakarta,
Asian cultures, like because like I know like Asian cultures like back in Japan or Singapore, work culture is very hectic and like lots of politics going around. Like you want to try to put other people down in order for you to benefit yourself. But I'd say in Australia, it's not that popular. Not saying that it's not occurring in any of the companies, but at least I'd say in general, like working in Australia is pretty chill and people support each other.
Yeah. I think the main difference between Western and Eastern culture is in Eastern culture, we kind of take into account like people's position based on their age. So for example, you need to really respect the elderly and stuff and such like that. So you have to get a different communication style to the elderly compared to your youngsters, pretty much. But in Australia, we're pretty much equal. We all. Of course, we also respect our elderly here and stuff like that, older people. But still, we kind of treat them more like friends.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So there will be difference, but not so much different compared to Asian culture. So I think that's the main difference. And it's also interesting because I think your company's organization structure is very flat.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not really like in big banks where you got like manager, CEO, manager, lower manager, and then staff. I think your company is more like flat structure. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
All right. So to be honest, in my company, there is a centralized. There's a centralized departments.
Right.
So from CEO, COO. Each department is led by a team leader.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, I'm leading a department myself. So I'm leading the importing department. So we deal with integrations between Mydeal Marketplace and other sellers, as well as basically automating tasks so that we can list sellers' products as seamless as possible.
Yeah.
However, although there is a centralized department, centralized organizational structure in Mydeal, there is no formal chain of command. In other words, if you are working in an importing department, you don't need to speak through the importing team leader to be able to speak to other people from different departments. So the communication is free. You can talk to anyone, but there is still like a structure just to keep everything organized.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Hopefully it makes sense to everyone.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So you can pretty much talk to your CEO.
Yeah. You can definitely talk to your CEO directly. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
But just like the KPIs and stuff are managed by the team leaders.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. That's very cool. Yeah. So how many people are there at Mydeals?
Approximately 25.
25 people. Right. Yeah. Because it's also similar to my company. So my company, well, it's not so much of a startup, but we're a small company, nevertheless. And in my company, I also got only like 15 people. So the communication, the organization structure is very flat. I mean, we know there are CEOs and someone is doing other important stuff like a higher level managerial stuff. But we can pretty much talk to everyone because we pretty much share the same office space. And yeah, its communication is very flat. Like we can talk to anyone during our work. And that's pretty much the nice things about smaller companies as compared to bigger companies, I guess.
Correct.
And I guess smaller companies, when I see the trend, smaller companies, or at least some companies that kind of a bit operating like a startup, they tend to recruit international students more often. And I think they are generally much more willing to accept international students compared to like other bigger companies. Do you reckon so? Or have you ever tried to apply to the bigger companies?
I'm not really sure on that, but I do see a lot of international students in some big companies.
Oh, you do?
In some big companies, not much. Maybe like Deloitte, PwC,
right.
EY, and other accounting. Yeah, most of them are accounting graduates or accounting companies. But I guess there are some people who are working in bigger companies, but I'd say it's fair to say that most of them end up in smaller companies.
Right. Yeah. Especially.
Not really sure.
I guess it depends on your major.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're doing accounting, I think bigger companies are usually better. I mean, most accounting firms are very big in itself. But for ITs, especially those that pretty much delivers core IT products, we don't really need that much people.
Yeah.
Usually, we just really need some people who are, driving our core product or core IT development. And usually, small companies are enough for that purpose. And yeah, actually, there are trends towards getting a smaller team in IT,
Yeah.
as well as it's actually making you work more efficiently.
Yeah. So it's all about efficiency and
Yeah.
effectiveness.
In IT, it's all about efficiency, and talking about IT, what do you reckon IT people are compared to business? Is it true that IT people tend to talk much less compared to business people, or you don't see that much of a difference?
Well, by the nature of the work, obviously the IT people or the developers talk lesser than other people
Yeah.
because like they talk through their codes.
Yeah, they
Get
talk to computer. Yeah.
Get it? So you talk. Through
I
yeah,
love
so
it.
yeah,
It is true. Yeah.
by nature, yes, but they do speak, guys. So it's not like they're like a robots and they're not speaking to other people. They do speak.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Right. So, okay. What should I ask next? Let's see. IT. So, going from the business to IT side of things, do you have any intention of like I want to go back to being an actuary or going to business field one day?
To be honest, no. To be honest, I really like IT. Like after working in Mydeal, after learning all the knowledge about the e-commerce industry,
Yep.
I'm really interested in e-commerce and just IT in general. Because why? Because I think like technology will always keep on growing.
Yeah.
It will not stop. It will not stop growing, and job vacancy will always be there for IT people.
Right.
And as time goes by, IT will be more and more advanced. That is why you will need more and more IT people, even smarter IT people. So that's why I'm very interested in IT, because the job prospect will always be there, and the demand will always be there as well. So in terms of like especially in Melbourne, like working in the IT industry is quite easy. I think like finding a job as a web developer is quite easy.
Yeah. I have to second that actually. I feel like every city of course has its own economic base, but for Melbourne, I think the smaller the financial sector is pretty much very small compared to Sydney, for example.
Yeah.
But for IT, it's quite comparable to bigger capitals like Sydney. And so that's why I think most of my friends, even from business background, we kind of end up in IT fields these days, because it's so much easier, it's so much rewarded for IT fields in Melbourne in general. And yeah, overall, I guess, so if you guys are international students and you are doing anything other than IT, don't be afraid to try out IT fields. Yes. Yeah, it's actually pretty good fields. Right. Let's see. I wish I could see your guys' comments below, because I'm kind of like running out of questions. Well, I got a lot of questions, but I'm not so sure which one to ask first. But anyway, do you guys anything if I'm like an international student and I'm really struggling to get a job, what do you reckon is like the most important advice to me?
All right. So number one, guys. Like the IT industry in Melbourne is really good, but it doesn't mean that like all other majors are not as good as well. I'm not saying that if you're an accountant or you are an arts graduate, you won't find a job. I believe everyone can get a job. It's just all about making the amount of effort, just the amount of effort you guys are willing to pour out. So number one, it's very important for you to work hard in a sense of improving your resume, making it as good as possible.
Right.
Writing unique cover letters per company. All right. So not one cover letter for all companies, but one cover letter for each company specifically, because it does help. Like personalization in your email or cover letters, it actually helps the HR manager to see your level of seriousness in applying for the job. Yeah. That's what I understood. And secondly, just don't give up, guys. Because I believe like working hard won't disappoint you. That's what I realized, man. Guys,
yeah, it's actually interesting, especially about the cover letter part, because I also did a lot of cover letters, but believe it or not, the one company I got into is the one I didn't write cover letter specifically for. I just like attached my CV. I wasn't even reading too much about the position. Eventually I get it. So
interesting.
Yeah, if you're applying to 20, 30 companies, you probably want to do 10 different cover letters, but for the rest of the 20s, you probably just want to get a CV, you know, that's good enough, and that's fair enough. Okay, probably the final question is, because I think IT industries generally really appreciate like the young talents.
Yeah.
So I'm just interested. So I know you are performing very well back in Monash Uni, I guess.
Decent. Yeah.
So you got like all HDs or things like that?
Nah, I'm not as smart as Erwin.
No.
He's your best mentor.
No, I'm not. So how much does marks matter compared to like other things like extracurricular organization, you know, like, or other kind of previous employments?
Yeah. Alright, so disclaimer guys, study hard, okay? So whatever I'm saying after this, it should not affect your performance in university.
Yeah.
But based on my experience, grades do matter, but it's not everything. What matters most is being able to apply your knowledge into reality or basically into practice. Like for my case, I had a what do you call it? Like I had an Excel test.
Oh, right.
What do you call it? It's like a practicum test. Or what do you call it?
It's like I don't know. There are a lot of different testings and there are a lot of different testing, especially when you apply to an IT job. Sometimes it's more like technical skills. Sometimes.
Yeah. So basically, I was tested. Like my technical skills were tested. So it's very important for you to be able to apply your knowledge into practice. It's very important. So not like the knowledge here doesn't really matter if you can't outpour it. All right, that's number one.
Right.
And secondly, you need to be adaptable to the society and to the growing industry. In other words, you need to be able to learn continuously in the changing environment. You need to so you don't just stick to your previous knowledge, but you're able to adapt to new knowledges and learn them quickly.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, quick learning is actually one of the main skills
Yes.
IT employees are looking for. And I got a lot of questions between like technical skills versus soft skills in IT. I think it might be quite opposite of what you learn in uni, but I think technical skills is somewhat more important.
Correct.
In IT. Like
Yes.
because like I said, in IT most people just talk to their own computer, so they kind of care more about the fact that you can talk to your computer better than you can talk to other people. At least in my opinion, because like if you got the best social skills but you don't know how to code, it's pretty much kind of pointless. But of course, the best of both worlds is if you can do both. But I guess for the fresh grads, I think technical skills is kind of more important, at least, compared to soft skills.
I'd say so.
Okay, let me just end this video here, because what I want to do is actually I want to check if my phone is actually still active.
Alright. See you guys.
See you guys. Peace out. Bye.